So what's the secret to a long-term happy relationship with your wife or with your husband? So this year, 2026, me and my wife were celebrating our 30th anniversary. We're together for 30 years this year in September. We got together when I was 16. It was my birthday, my 16th birthday, and my wife was 14. We were on a camping in France, and it just happened to be that we lived 20 miles apart in the Netherlands, and we fell in love. And now we're 30 years later, and I would say we have a pretty successful relationship in a lot of different ways. And it's funny, I was yesterday evening, I was checking Netflix, and I'm not gonna say what I watched, but you know, there's a lot of advice on how to have relationships, a good relationship, and what it should look like, or what the role should be for a woman, or what the role should be for a man, or how do you communicate with each other, or all those things. And I thought, you know, I'll share some ideas with you based off my experience with and in the relationship with my wife Danielle. So yeah, I'm really proud of who we are as partners, but also as me as a father, her as a mom, and us as a family. We decided to do and start homeschooling a year ago, and we're traveling the world. We're living on the world, we say, and we do it our way. And if I would give a piece of advice to couples, is to figure out, like, what's your way? What's your way? Who are you? Okay, let's just, for the sake of to make it easier for me, let's just assume that you're a man, and if you're a woman and you're watching this, take it as a woman. So if I give an example about a man, you know what I mean. So I'm going to talk about whatever. You get what I mean. Trying to make it easier for myself. So yeah, figure out who you are. Figure out who she is. And figure out, like, what's your way. And I've been studying relationships for a long time. I've been practicing, of course, because we've been together for 30 years this year, and a lot of experience. And what I see go wrong oftentimes in relationships is that we try to paint a picture, or maybe we adopt a picture that was given to us by our parents or by society, and then we try to fit ourselves into that picture. And I don't think that's the right way to go about it. And that's why I say you should go your way. You should do your way, and figure out, like, who you are, who she is, or he is, and make it your own. So when we started our relationship, again, I was 16 and she was 14, and I think what I'm sharing right now is pretty important, but I'm also a little bit hesitant to share this, because especially nowadays, in these years, there's a lot of information about relationships, or femininity, masculine energy, feminine energy. But when we got together, I was 16, she was 14, and what I noticed at that time is that some of my friends and for me friendship is and was very, very important. What I noticed with some friends is that when they get into a relationship, they get a girlfriend, you know, all of a sudden they change. So we have amazing friendships, we do a lot of fun stuff, and all of a sudden, instead of going to the bar with us on a Saturday evening, they chill on the couch with their girlfriend. Deep down inside, they want to be with their friends, but all of a sudden they have a girlfriend and they change. So when I got into the relationship with Danielle, one of the first things that I told her was the following. I told her, so just for the record, my friends are my top priority. And this is me at 16 or 17. And I was in love with her. I was really in love with her and still am. But I told her my friends are my priority. And so they're most important for me and I will prioritize them. And you can tag along. So I will not give up our Saturday evenings with my friends because that's something that gives me so much joy and so much fun and so much pleasure and so much everything. So just don't expect me to give up my Saturday evening. However, if you want to tag along and you want to be with us, you're very welcome. And this was really cool because she understood. She understood and she was like, yeah, I get that. And for her it was amazing because all of a sudden she's part of the friend group as well. And so when I was 16, what did I know? But this was my intuition. And basically what I was doing at that time is standing for who I am. It wasn't something that I learned and that something somebody told me. It was actually me being aware of what was happening with other friends. Yesterday I had a really cool lunch with Chris Collins. Really cool guy. And we were talking about personal development and growing up and triggers and traumas and all that stuff. And, you know, he shared his story. And we both noticed that we are very different compared to people that we grew up with. And I asked him, like, what's the difference between you and the people that you grew up with? Like, how come that you have the life that you're living right now and you're where you are in your life and your success and everything? And he said, like, well, I think I was just aware. I was just aware. It wasn't necessarily knowledge. It wasn't something that I learned. I was just aware. Very aware of the people around me and what they're doing and very aware of my own intuition and my own feelings. And I thought that was a very wise thing to say and to see for yourself, is that, you know, you can get all your wisdom from books and people and mentors, but just being aware is very, very, very wise. So I think I was aware at that time, like, yeah, I don't want to adjust myself too much in a relationship. I just want to be me and I just want to be free. And not necessarily free as in like do whatever I want to do in that relationship, because, you know, we have to adjust a little bit, but I don't want to adjust my core of my being. And it's something that I can recall from back in the days. And it actually turned out really well because she understood and she trusted me with this as well. And maybe, you know, at that time and maybe still today, sometimes she feels like, man, I would love for you to be around me, but I need my own space. And I think it's very important as a person, I would say. I was about to say as a man, but this counts for men and women, is to have your own space. Some people they need more space than others. I need a lot of space. I'm an introvert. I need to decompress from other people's energies. That's why I love to walk. So from the beginning on, I decided, no, I'm not going to adjust myself in this relationship too much. And I actually think that this is one of the most important factors of our relationship really being successful. And again, some people can look at that and think that's egotistical, or but I know that if I choose me, and if I prioritize me, and if she prioritizes her, then we can have an amazing relationship. I got to be happy with me. She has to be happy with her, and then we can be happy together. But if I can only be happy because she can give me something, or if she can only be happy if I can give her something, then it's going to be a difficult relationship, and then all of a sudden it becomes very symbiotic. And that's also something that's something to be aware of. Like, if you are way too symbiotic in your relationship, if you can't really function, if your partner is not around, well, in my world, that's something to dissolve, something to look at and figure out, like, who are you really and who is your partner really, and be happy on your own. So That was a very big and important thing in the beginning. And another thing in the beginning was also very important, and again, this is something me at a young age being aware, is I told her, because I didn't have a vision for our relationship when we were younger. I didn't have a perfect picture for our relationship when we were younger. All I knew was that as long as we're cool, as long as it's fun, we can be together. That was my intention. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. We'll see. But I'm not gonna have a certain goal or certain picture or whatever that we want to achieve. As long as it's fun, let's stick together. And 30 years in and it's still fun. And we have a lot of fun. And it doesn't mean that it's always been easy. We had a lot of really, really awesome years. We had great years. We had some good years. We had some okay years. And we had one big, big, big crisis year. That was the hardest year, I think, of our lives. And it was the best thing that ever happened to us. The odds of our relationship still being strong, at that time they were very low. And it's really cool, man. Like my good friend Joe Polish has this saying. He says, in order to have a breakthrough, sometimes you have to break something. And I never really agreed with him on that. I was like, yeah, why do you need to break shit? Like, you don't need to break shit. And but within our relationship, we had to break some shit, and that's when you really figure out, like, how strong are you, and how strong is your relationship. So it turned out that our relationship is really, really strong, and we can even go through really, really, like, real hardships, and that's a cool thing in a long-term relationship. And I don't think that you should commit to a long-term relationship just for the sake of being in a long-term relationship. I don't necessarily think it's something to brag about if you're in a relationship that's not amazing. If you're in a relationship that's not amazing, but you stick through, you go through it, but it's not really for you, I don't know. It's not something to be really proud of. So, yeah, you got to be really, really honest with yourself, also in a relationship, but also towards each other. So when we had our crisis year, I was very, very honest, and I was very deliberate about me speaking my truth towards my wife, and just being super, 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 super honest. Yesterday I did a really cool podcast interview with Dan Sullivan, the owner of and founder of Strategic Coach. And Dan has this saying. He says, all progress starts by telling the truth. So for example, if my wife would ask me something about our relationship, I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm super raw, super honest. And I know that she can handle it. Like, she's very strong and emotionally intelligent. So she gets it. She understands whenever I'm speaking my truth, even though it's not a sugar-coated thing. And so I think that's super, super important, to be very, very honest towards yourself in your relationship. Like, how do you feel about your relationship? How do you feel about you and in the relationship? How do you feel about your partner? And also be very, very honest towards each other. I love those shoes. They're awesome. Those Jordans. And most people, they're very afraid of being really honest. And what I mean by being honest is not that you need to share everything. That is not. I don't mean that. And it's, we all lie. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't. So we all lie. You don't need to tell everybody everything. But try to be as honest as possible. This is me being honest. Try to be as honest as possible towards yourself, and also towards your partner. And again, like all progress starts by telling the truth, and the truth shall definitely set you free. And the opposite is true as well. If you keep on lying to yourself and lying in your relationship, you're not really free. So we're in Beverly Hills right now, right? Oh yeah, Beverly Hills. That's an iconic place. Oh yeah. So those are some things that I feel that are very important if you want to stick to a long-term relationship. There's so much I can share about long-term relationships. If I look at our relationship, you know what? I'm not gonna go there because it's too tactical, almost too practical, and I can share that in another video. Subscribe to my channel because, like, if you appreciate what I'm sharing today, if you get some insight, some ideas, just wait, because you know this channel is really, 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 it's my life's work. And are you fighting with the camera? Yeah. Okay, that's okay.
I got it.
Okay, cool. You got it. I think that's beautiful what Jeffrey said. I got it, and I think that's one of the most important things in a relationship as well. Is what you want in a relationship. Is that my wife? Okay, this is my wife. So this is funny. This is pure coincidence, but there's no coincidence. Wait. Hey, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you.
Hey. Hello.
Hello. So
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the secrets to a long-term relationship.
Interesting.
What would you say is your secret to a long-term relationship?
Chill the fuck out.
Chill the fuck out. I think that's amazing advice. And what do you mean? What do you mean with chill the fuck out?
Just be you and relax and be calm and think positive. Relax, no stress. Everything will work out. Yeah.
This is very exciting. And this is so I love this. So thank you. So
And I'm very happy and very grateful for you, and I'm very happy for the house that we just got. So thank you.
is it nice?
It's beautiful.
Okay, so we have a house. We stayed a couple of days in West Hollywood, and now we have a home in Venice, and we're actually walking from West Hollywood to Venice. And so I'm very curious. But thank you for sharing. I'll call you back in a bit.
Bye.
Bye.
Where are we going?
And what she meant with chill the fuck out and relax and all that stuff is basically what she was sharing is you have to trust. You have to trust, and if you can really, really, really trust your partner, I think that's such a big foundation for a long-term relationship. And with trusting a partner, a lot of people get that wrong. I can make a whole video around trust, but with trusting a partner, it doesn't mean that they cannot make a mistake or they cannot even lie or they can't, whatever it is. It's not about that. It's like it's a level deeper. If you can really trust the human being and understand and also trust that he or she is also a flawed human being, because nobody is perfect. If you can trust the fact that he or she is good, and trust that, and never make them wrong. They can make mistakes. My wife makes mistakes, I make mistakes. But don't make them wrong. Don't make them a mistake. And just trust them. I think that's super, super, super important. And this goes for every relationship. So even in business or with your team, if somebody in your team makes a mistake, you know, you can be pissed off, you can be even angry at them, but never make them wrong. Be careful. Never make them wrong, never make them a mistake. And I think that's very, very important in a relationship as well. You have to trust. And again, if you are distrusting as a person and you're looking at flaws and looking at reasons why somebody can't be trusted, good luck with your relationship. So that was a cool serendipitous moment that my wife Danielle called me, and she was very happy with the new home that we have in Venice. So I'm excited about that as well. So yeah, would love for you to just subscribe to my channel. What I'm doing, and I'm just starting out this channel, and maybe you see this video in 2029, and right now I have like 0 subscribers on this channel, and like 6 views per video because we're just starting out. And you probably maybe you don't know who I am yet, doesn't really matter. But what I've been doing in the last couple of years, last 20 years actually, in the Netherlands, like I'm a big fish in a small pond in the Netherlands. I'm a mentor for entrepreneurs. I help many entrepreneurs grow their business, scale their business, but while scaling their freedom as well, and create a life that's actually amazing. I call this a life filled with life. And for me, the best way to help you outside of these YouTube videos is to do a one-on-one big visions conversation with you. And what we're going to do during this one-on-one big vision conversation is we'll have an in-depth conversation where we really figure out, like, who are you really? Who are you really? And then we figure out together, we explore like what would be unbelievable for you. Maybe even impossible for you. What feels impossible right now, but you're excited that it could actually be a possibility. And then we look at a path to get there. These are big visions conversations, and I love these conversations. So if you're a 7-figure or an 8-figure entrepreneur and you would like to have a big visions conversation with me right now, but again, this is at this time, this is in April 2026, right now you can have a free big vision conversation with me if you're a 7 or 8-figure entrepreneur. And the only thing you need to do is send me a message on Instagram, a DM, with the word big visions. So big visions, and then we'll have a short little conversation on DM, and then we might have a big vision conversation. I can almost guarantee you that during this conversation you'll have visions of yourself in the future and also the near future that you've never seen before. It's really my unique ability to see the bigger version of you, and maybe even a newer version of you, and then help you get there. So at this moment it's free. But if you send me a message on Instagram, we'll still see if it's free. I've been selling these sessions for 8,000 euros in the Netherlands, but because I'm starting out new internationally, you might be able to get it for free. So send me a message on Instagram, Big Visions. If it's not free anymore, my apologies, but it is what it is. Sometimes, you gotta be early with spotting talents, and hopefully you see a little bit of talent in me, and hopefully you're early. So yeah, send me a message on Instagram. I got a really cool video that I just recorded before this video that I'd also love to share with you. It's actually about how to have not a long-term relationship, but how to really have a thriving and fulfilling career, and how to avoid a big downfall that a lot of creators have whenever they're building their career. So click the link or click the video here in the screen, and you can get access to that video as well. Much love.